Alright, hi guys, Brian here, and today we finally get to talk about Superion. So here he is, basically in his official transformation. I'm going to get this out of the way right now. This gun is super loose in his hands, so I'm going to take it out because it's going to fall. This is just Superion's gun. No, Silverbolt's gun. And it's still pretty cool, but it does not fit in his hand securely in any way, shape, or form. And here's Power Glide in his gun mode, in his hand. Kind of silly looking, but okay, I guess. So, gonna take him off. He's secured more securely, but still not amazing. So, jump cutting back to Power Glide in his hand. Unfortunately, the shoulder isn't quite strong enough to be able to hold him up. So that kind of sucks. And jump cut back to Power Glide being gone. Okay. Alright, so this is the official transformation for Superion, with again, these are None-F's Superion antennas, which I will have a link to down in the description for you. They are hard plastic and much better than the soft, bendy plastic ones that Silverbolt comes with. But I don't really care for this transformation because he looks squat. So I'm going to do a jump cut and show you the way I prefer to transform him, and we'll see how you guys like that. So, 3, 2, 1, whoa! Bam! Here he is in the way I prefer to transform him. I extend the legs for Skydive and Air Raid. Think so. Skydive, Air Raid. I think so. It makes him better proportioned, I feel, extending the legs like this. So that's why I like doing it. I also kind of flare the wings on his back a bit. These guys. Just a smidgen to try and hide the abdomen here that you can kind of see. I also like putting the guns on his thighs, which make him look a little bigger. The big drawback for extending his legs like this is that it does make him a little bit tougher to stand because these are joints that wish to move, so they can very easily do that and fall forward by bending at his shins knees. So you have to take a little bit more care posing him, but I think overall it gives him better proportions and looks better. But let's go ahead and do some size comparisons for you. Now, I don't own the Combiner Wars Optimus figure because I frankly don't really want it. But here is the same mold for it. And in my configuration at least, it towers over him. And I'm okay with the scale. It looks kind of cool. I'm okay with the scale for robot mode. If I want to take any sort of vehicle mode scale into this, it doesn't work at all. But that looks okay to me. And let's go ahead and throw in my actually preferred Optimus figure, for at least Earth Mode Optimus. There is Transformers Prime, First Edition Optimus Prime, so you can see that he comes up to basically crotch. Let's go ahead and throw Chromia in, because, you know, she has interacted with Superion lately in the comics. And Windblade as well. Alright, so I've shifted things around a little bit. Here he is with the scale of Transformers Prime, First Edition Optimus Prime, Windblade, and Chromia. Since these characters are kind of interacting a lot in the comics right now, I'm okay with the scale. If you're just going to go based on solely robot mode scale, which is what they generally want to do, this does not look horrible to me. I'm okay with this. This guy looks... Superion looks big and powerful compared to these guys. And, of course, one guy who I've been using for scale for all these videos, there is Bombshell. Looks rather pitiful compared to him, and I kind of dig that. That's really actually kind of awesome. It's tiny and big. So it's now that time of the video where we do some size comparisons with some other combiners that I have. So let's kick things off with Menasor, his counterpart, and see, he fell at the shin legs. So price to be paid. You occasionally have to pick him back up and readjust him. Alright, everything's all readjusted now. So, Menasor in not a stock configuration. You'll see in my Menasor video how I do him. But hey, sneak preview. I simply don't, use these the right way. I'm okay with this scale. I don't do the extended knee trick with Menasor because I like him being a bit squatter and beefier and meaner looking. Whereas Superion, I like him being taller and more athletic looking, I guess. But they look good together. I'm satisfied with this scale for them. They look pretty good together, I think. Now, up to this point, you might have been saying, hey Brian, why aren't you using the green screen? Why are you using your static background that you have? Well, this is why. Green screen will not work well with Make Toys Green Giant, my not Devastator. And I like this scale too. That looks pretty cool to me. And for another one, let's bring in the, Mobine Creations? Military Titans, Bruticus from the Fall of Cybertron line. Again, he is a pain in the ass to do anything with, but I'm not even going to change his stock pose that I had because I don't want to mess with him. But these guys actually look kind of cool together. I'm not gonna lie. He looks significantly better because he's significantly more expensive. But I kind of dig this too. So this is kind of a cool. I don't know. I like the way Superion scales with pretty much everything. And I'm sure this next comparison is the one everyone has been waiting for. Here he is with TFC Uranos, who you guys aren't even looking fully at. So let me pick you up a little bit. Uranos is bigger by half a head, looks about. From your perspective, there's about my perspective, about a half a head, I think. Uranos looks beefier, chunkier, heavier, meaner. Hasbro Superion looks lithe, actually kind of cheap in comparison. To be honest, I like both of them for different reasons. I'm going to set you guys down again and tilt you up. There you go. Now you can see them a little bit. Okay, I like both of them for kind of different reasons. This one, Hasbro Superion, is significantly cheaper and significantly lighter, significantly, what words am I looking for? Like, I don't want to say lower quality, because it's not really low quality. It just feels different than Uranos. Uranos, why do I keep calling him Uranos? His name is Uranus. No, his name is Uranos, because they didn't want to do the joke of Uranus. Do the joke of Uranus. Put a Uranus joke down on the bottom, please. Please put a Uranus joke down. I should also mention that I've done the Techering mod of moving the chest piece up, and I have Phantom Ray basically just doing shoulder things for my Uranos. But, I don't know. He looks big and chunky, but he's awkward, and to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of TFC's figures. They're just like, somebody else said it in a video once that I quite agree with. TFC basically produces Energon era toys, and they tend to be blocky and cumbersome, and I completely kind of agree with that. So Uranos feels kind of like a different era to me. Superion definitely feels like an official children's toy. So, I don't know. If someone were to sit me down and say, Brian, which one do you have to pick one as your favorite? I don't think I'd be able to pick one as a favorite. I guess maybe I'd pick Uranos over Superion because they don't... I don't know. There's no good answer to that question. I say if you're really interested and curious, try to mess around with both of them. They both have their good points and their low points. So they both have merit to them. I think both of them bring something to the table for Superion fans, like me. Oh, I should also mention, I painted his visor gold. So I think that's basically it for the comparisons. Alright, so for Superion's articulation, I'm going to start down at the bottom and work my way up. His feet, since they're on pegs, just rotate. The ankle heel things, these actually are pretty awesome. They work pretty well to let you set him down, and if he's not standing right, you can shift this around a bit, and it generally actually solves the problem. You can just rotate him a little bit, and it generally will solve the problem for getting him to stand in some awkward positions. Alright. He's got a thigh swivel up at the top of the thigh, but also at the combination joint itself, which is exactly what I was trying to rotate, you do have rotation there. And you've got forward and backward movement. You've got outward movement. So his legs, glorious. Anything you want to do with the legs, basically you can do. Granted, with my leg extending trick, you have, well, not my leg extending trick, but with the leg extending trick, you do have to take that into account because, hey, there's more articulation right there than you really want in a leg. I believe None-F is actually producing something to fill in this gap and secure these. I don't have those at the moment, and if I do get them, I would love to do a little follow-up video for this and pimp those out because I think that actually would be needed. Actually, it was None-F who told me about this trick. And I was like, I don't really want to do it, but I'm like, I gave it a shot and said, okay, yeah, that looks better. Anyway, further on with articulation. His head. You guys are not looking up. Alright, now you're looking up at his eye level. Alright, he has no waist joint because, well, sadness. His head can rotate basically all around. His antennas can emote, and I actually do like putting the antennas back slightly like this. That's just kind of my aesthetics, kind of almost Gundam-y to me. His arms are on the ports thingies, that whatever these are, the combiner ports. So you can go out and rotate all around. These are glorious arms. And the way you can transform them, they give you a double jointed elbow. Glorious. Love it. His wrists are on a peg so they can swivel. His thumb is that same, toe thumb thing and can do basically whatever you'd like it to do because it's got lots of range of movement. His fingers kind of suck because I popped his hand off. His fingers kind of suck because they're one molded piece that like to actually fold in on themselves and get sorted away when you don't want them to. And on the transformation itself, they get the guys into the individual limb modes is kind of simplistic. Basically, even just Silverbolt just transforms mostly into jet mode. I do kind of love how his chest plate flips up. I do love this chest shield being part of Silverbolt's legs and folding over. I really, really don't like how the arms and all these guys are just sitting there hanging out blatantly obvious. I'm not quite sure what else could we have done with them for what we got, but that's basically it. I don't know, the transformation is simplistic to get to limb mode, but effective, I guess. So, it's not perfect to me, but I'm willing to live with it. Alright, so my final thoughts on Superion here, as I continue to just mess with them. I dig this guy. Sure, he's not super amazing. Sure, he's got his flaws and he doesn't have the perfect aesthetic. He is not a perfect Superion, no. He is flawed, he is a children's toy, and if you take that into account, he's actually got some pretty cool stuff going on. So overall, I'm actually quite glad that I picked up these guys because, well, that's a weird angle for his back leg. I'm actually quite glad I picked these guys up because, to be honest, they didn't really wow me from a adult collector standpoint. So I was going to skip them. But in a moment of weakness, I caved and picked some up, and I'm thrilled about it. I currently have most of Defensor sitting waiting for me to ship, just waiting for the last piece of them to ship, to arrive. And I'm looking forward to basically anything else the Combiner Wars throws at me because I dig these guys. There's some finger fun to be had with these guys. These are good toys. Not particularly amazing, collector's pieces. So, I guess my final thought is, he's cool. I'm glad to have him, but he's not amazing. I think I'd basically end up saying, mess around with him if you can, but he's not bad to own. At least that's my impressions of him. But I am curious to know what you guys think about him, so if you have anything you wish to say about Superion, let me know down below. If you have any questions or comments or requests or anything, let me know. I'm curious to know what you guys think. See you guys later. Bye.